Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today, Maelstrom of War, Cloak and Shadows. We have Iron Hands from the Clan Raukan facing off against the third company of the Imperial Fists chapter. Let's begin. Welcome to the battle report. 1,500 points of Clan Raukan Space Marines versus 1,500 points of Sentinels of Terra Space Marines. So it's going to be a power armor and scout armor on power armor and scout armor battle report. The mission is Cloak and Shadows. So 6 objectives. We have 1 here by the statues, 1 beside the Razorback, 1 by the trenches, 1 in the Manufactorum, 1 near the Administratum building, and 1 near the other trench system. In the deployment for the Clan Raukan, we have 5 scouts with sniper rifles and camo cloaks, 5 scouts with bolters and camo cloaks. We have a 5-man tactical unit with a rocket launcher. The other 5-man part of the unit is in the Razorback. We have a command squad with a Gorgon Chain captain with the warlord trait that gives him +1 to feel no pain. We have a tech marine at the back with the eye of Ironstone, making all the tanks around him really survivable. A rhino full of tactical marines. And a storm talon in reserve. On the Imperial Fist unit, we have a 5-man squad with plasma cannon, a Contemptor Dread with a series assault cannon, another 5-man tac squad with a rocket launcher, 5 Terminators hiding in the shadows with a Terminator Librarian with the bones of the seer or something that allows him to re-roll failed psychic tests, and he got invisibility, psychic shriek, and shrouding. An empty rhino. On this far flank, we had some infiltrating and scouting scouts. 6 with sniper rifles with a rocket launcher, and a storm filled with bolter scouts. In reserve, we have a storm talon, we have 2 tactical units in drop pods, and the Iron Hands want to go first. So the Imperial Fists will attempt to seize the initiative. My warlord trait is Strategic Genius, so I steal on a 5+, and I get to re-roll my reserve rolls. Okay. Let the games begin. Clan Raukan, turn 1. The command squad with the bikers moved up, as well as reshuffling of some of the tanks and the scouts. Shooting against the Imperial Fists, saw 1 scout go down. The Sicarian knock out the rocket launcher and 2 other marines from that 5-man tactical squad, and 2 tactical marines die from this plasma cannon unit as well. With the Maelstrom missions, Clan Raukan has scored 0 points, moving on to Imperial Fist, turn 1. The drop pod arrived, combat squads got out, killed 2 of the servitors in the back with bolter drill, combined firepower from the combat squad, and the bolter scouts eliminated the scouts on objective 1. Precision shots from the scouts with sniper rifles shot the rocket launcher out of that building, and the Dreadnought tried to shoot and charge into the Rhino, did nothing. In other news, the Terminators rolled Snake Eyes, so they couldn't get past the building, and then they rolled a 1 to run, so they're stuck back there, but they are invisible. And this Rhino immobilized itself and then repaired itself. So now we're moving on to Iron Hands turn 2. The Iron Hands maneuvered around the 2 combat squads, murdered them in the shooting phase. The drop pod is still alive. Storm Talon arrived, fired, and killed 1 scout in the building thanks to their camo cloaks. The Sicarian fired at the other 4-jewel model on the table, but I passed both my 5+ in vulnerable saves. And now we're moving on to Imperial Fists turn 2. I have a drop pod to come in. I lost another marine in that unit there as well. Drop pod to come in with more tactical marines on 3+.
Nope.
It doesn't, and I'm going to keep it off.
Cowards.
And the Storm Talon, and I'm going to keep that on. And We are now sitting at 3 points to the Imperial Fists to 2 points to the Iron Hands. Terminators moved up. Librarian perils while invisibilitying the Dreadnought, who put a hull point and forced the Scakaran into snap firing. Then the Cyclone rocket launcher double immobilized the Rhino to wreck it, forcing the unit out, and then the plasma cannon killed 2 out of the unit. Psychic Scream went off against the scouts, but not high enough of a roll was made to kill any of the scouts, while the Storm Talon arrived and blasted the other Storm Talon out of the sky. These scouts in the backfield fired to try and kill the Tech Marine and Servitors, succeeding in killing both Servitors, but not the Tech Marine. The drop pod fired ineffectually at the Tech Marine, and the scouts in the storm moved up to secure behind enemy lines. So, we are now sitting at 6 points for the Imperial Fists to 2 points to the Iron Hands. Let's see what they can do at the end of this turn. The Iron Hands maneuvered. A lot of bolter shooting, last cannon shooting on that flank, tried to kill the Storm, Little Storm, that jinked and only took 1 hull point, but also lost its grenade launcher. The Bikers moved up to take Objective 2 twice, shooting into Objective 1 twice, sorry. Shooting saw 1 of these scouts die as well, but they passed in route test. The Scakaran fired into the Storm Talon, but failed to do any hits, and lots of shooting from this squad into the Terminators killed 1 Terminator with a successful Akatsu roll from the Librarian. So we're moving on to Iron Imperial Fists. Turn 3. Will the drop pod arrive with the additional Marines? It does, and we shall keep it on the table. The drop pod landed in the backfield, dropping a tactical unit off that blasted the commander. I've created a wall so that the Marine bikes have to go around, and I've immobilized the Scakaran. I mean, the bikes will not be able to reach them in the movement phase. A scout at the back, combined fire, killed 2 of the tactical Marines in the unit, who did fall back. Psychic Shriek finally killed 2 scouts. Terminators fired into the tactical squad, but failed their charge with Snake Eyes. And the Forge World Dreadnought immobilized the Scakaran battle tank. So we're moving on to Iron Hands, turn 4. And the Imperial Fists have gained 3 more points, 2 for supremacy and 1 more for scoring Objective 5 with this Rhino. Scakaran battle tank blasted 3 of the Space Marines from that unit into oblivion. That's right, that's my wife adding in some sound effects. The Storm died to glancing hits. The scouts are fine. The bikes moved up, gunned the Terminators to death, killed the Librarian as well with help of those tactical Marines, and nothing else has happened. Gaining Assassinate and Warlord kill, Clan Raukan gains another 2 points for the mission, and we're moving on to turn 4. The Imperial Fists moved up and focused fire. The Storm Talon went into hover mode to capture objective number 1 over here, and blew the Scakaran sky high. Other shooting saw the 2 tactical Marines over there killed by the scouts, and the scouts in this ruin killed by the Forge World Dreadnought, the Marines in the back, and both drop pods focus firing. In other news, that allowed me to gain domination, to capture every objective point on the table, and to kill 3 units with overwhelming firepower. The Imperial Fists are at 16 victory points to the Iron Hands 3 or 4 points.
No, it's more than that.
Or 7 points.
Ooh, what makes 5?
To the Iron Hands 5 points. Clan Raukan turned 5. Maneuvering around, tried to kill this 1 Rhino to capture Objective 5 and failed. Commander moved up with the Gorgon Chain, but was unable to charge the Forge World Dreadnought. And shooting saw a few of the scouts die in the back by bolter fire. this lone marine at the back lost his comrade and is falling back, but to rally next turn. And we're moving on to Imperial Fist. Turn 5 could be the end of the game. Imperial Fists. So the scouts charged in to declare a challenge to gain hungry for glory. Other shooting saw the Gorgon Chain commander do nothing or have nothing happen to him, and one marine die on the flank. But the Space Marines of the Imperial Fists have secured Objective 2 and secured Objective 3 for another 3 points, bringing it to a massive, crazy 19 points advantage. We're moving on to see if it continues. On to turn 6.
There it is.
And it doesn't go on to turn 6. Victory to the Imperial Fists. Pete, any last words?
No. Well, actually, in the end, you know what? One of my armies won.
That's right. Both of these armies are Pete's armies, as you can tell. It was a Space Marine on Space Marine Action Battle Report. Thanks for tuning in, subscribing, liking, commenting on the channel. On a quest to hit 8,000 subscribers. Click the link down here if you like what you've seen, you like more content directly. All the links are down below in the descriptions for Tacticas and other video battle reports. And of course, stay tuned to the Tactical Corner.
This has been approved by Scared's wife.
Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. Time to play some Space Marine on Space Marine action. Decided to take a very varied Imperial Fist Sentinels of Terra army against an Adepticon playing, or Astronomicon playing, Iron Hands army of Clan Raukan. So 2 supplement lists with supplement rules going against each other in a game of Cloak and Shadows. Battlefield was well set up, lots of varying terrain, the objectives were all over the place. Tactically, the mission for me was simple. I deployed an area to split up the Iron Hand forces, using the scouts on the far flank as bait. Now, the first drop pod that landed was used more to distract the big killy combat unit of bikes with the captain. Once that had arrived, Pete ended up committing way too many forces to the backfield, giving the rest of my army free reign of the table to then, later in the game, put pressure on objectives and gain a lot of points, as he couldn't re-maneuver in time to come back and score the points in the game. All in all, a fun mission. I like playing Space Marines and I cannot wait to give you more content. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Scary out.